World is not the place of second chance. World is the place of first, not the first. World is the place of last chance. This world, this three-dimensional experience, the samsara, the notes of birth, the notes of birth and bodily demise. So the world, samsara, is the time which is a marker in all reality, the time between the notes, the time between the notes of birth. You know what birth is. You have celebrated birthdays. You know what birth is. Samsara is the time between the notes of birth and bodily demise or transition. Samsara is the experience which is not gonna take place by a second chance. It only happened once. In other words, you can say world is not the place of second chance. World is the place of last chance. You don't fully comprehend what I'm telling you right now, and I understand that. I don't get mad at you for that. I have dedicated I have dedicated my entire carnation. I have dedicated my entire carnation to bring clarity in human perception, will make you understand. World is not the place of second chance. When the time is over, you would know intuitively. This is the only thing you would know, ironically, intuitively. Rest you do not know intuitively because you do not trust yourself. You trust your thoughts, if you understand. So, this is the only thing that you would know intuitively. Then, when the time is over, when the day or the hours are getting close for the bodily demise, you see, or half of the population do not know. That's why there are so many ghosts around us, because they are on a certain vibration. They are involved in they are involved basically in this three-dimensional reality, which is a really narrow band. We talked about broadband and we talked about narrow band. So they are so involved, they say this is it, and when they leave the body they get the biggest surprise of all times. You see, biggest surprise of all times. You see, that would be the biggest surprise of all times. But then you cannot retrieve back. You understand? You cannot retrieve back. Once you have lost it, you have lost it. I don't try to scare you. I try to tell you how things are because I see that way. I am not better. I am much aware than most of you. And I can see that way too, by the way. It's not a bragging, it's a fact. It's an observation. I gotta be this way because I have worked on myself. I gotta be this way because I have worked on myself. And you can work on yourself. You can be this way too. I have mentioned that before, and I am mentioning, I have I have mentioned that before, and I am mentioning it again, that if you like the wisdom, so you can work on yourself and you can get here in this lifetime. Nobody knows how much time we have left. I know, however, because again, it comes with the awareness. It's just like a perk. It's a side perk. It comes with the awareness. I know how much time I have left, but most of us do not know because they are fully involved. They are making future plans. You see, after I retire, I would travel. I have given you numerous examples how these plans are a delusion, a mirage. So, world is not the place of second chance. When it's over, it's over. When it's getting close, you are freaking out. You are saying, I need more time. I was not given more time. Again, I said, it's not, no matter who you are, no matter who you are, if you are a mullah, if you are a rabbi, you are a pastor, you are a father, whatever you are a person of authority or whatsoever. We, the nature, we, the life, we, the prana, we have no recognition. I'm not saying it with any arrogance. Nature or life has no recognition of your designation, your reputation, or how many times that you pray a day, or how many times you pray a week, or what religious festivals you celebrate. Nature does not know anything. God does not even know that you exist, not in the sense that you understand. You understand? People say, I'm the chosen one. People say, I am chosen by Jesus, or I am chosen by Moses, or I am chosen by Muhammad, or whoever, and I am the chosen one. Oh, yeah, that's the extent of your awareness that you are bragging about your own self, and you claim you are the chosen one. God does not even know who you are, not in the sense that you do. And you understand? God does not know who you are. this life is this life is the river. Eknatheswaran was an Indian man, again Indian, and he said the life is the river flowing from God and flowing towards God. It's simple. In the meantime, this river, me and you, exist as a separate self. If you want to look at yourself as a separate self, in all reality, through my eyes and through the eyes of divinity, through the eyes of cosmos, you do not exist as a separate self. Only Brahman exists, but you don't see that way. But I can, basically. Anyway, moving on. So do something about your misery. What if you don't feel good? This is alarming. Do something about it. Do something and feel contented and fulfilled, and take the test anytime, randomly checking yourself that how you feel. If you are not in a if you are not in the state of compulsion, if you are not in the state of compulsion, if you are not in the state of racing your mind, if you are not looking forward to the future, if you are not looking forward to addictions, if you are not looking forward to anything, but you feel contented with the present moment that you are in, you feel content, you don't need any help from outside to be happy. On the contrary, most of you require tremendous amount of support from outside just to be happy, and that happiness even constipated, and you know it. But if you take the test, you can check yourself, you can test yourself, you can see, how am I feeling in this moment? Do I feel contented with myself, or do I need support from outside? If you feel contented yourself, if you feel happy without any support from outside, then you are on the right path. Keep going. But if you feel agitated with anything from your surrounding and everything, if you feel agitated, if you have less patience, if you are looking forward to something in the future, if you are looking forward towards something outside of yourself, then you need to make the change, and you need to make the change quickly. You see, as Dalai Lama said, you better act first and you better act fast. That's what I'm saying to you. You understand? So think what I'm saying to you. Focus, not think. If you think you board on one thought, you board on another and other, basically, and you just keep boarding and boarding on numerous and numerous thought. You just board on one thought, you board on the entire universe, because as soon as you board on one thought, then your mind is not gonna stop, basically. Okay, then it will keep you going and going and going, basically, and then you would have no control on the mind, just like the wild horse I gave you the metaphor, or the rubber band ball. You see, just like the rubber band ball, that you take on one rubber band, the next thing you know, the entire rubber band ball is in your premise. So you are not gonna stop once you board on one thought. You understand? So focus on what I am saying to you. It's very significant for you to know. This is the gist of all wisdom. This is the gist of all meditation, that how contented you feel from within, how happy you feel from within, how contented you feel from within, how happy you feel from within, how satisfied you are with yourself, how much patience you have with yourself in the very first place. These are all the things. And if you check one by one, and all of the things you check like this, it means that you are on the right path. But just keep going, because this is a limitless sea of knowing. You see, it has no limits. So there is no destination, there is just journey, if you understand. So, as I said, somebody asked Swami Yogananda. You heard of Swami Yogananda? Swami Yogananda was an Indian man who was born in India, but he actually passed on here in America. Autobiography of a Yogi is the book. It's a phenomenal book, and it's an epic in a spiritual circle. Get the book. Or you can even watch his documentary Awake. It's on YouTube. I rent it. I rent from I rent from YouTube all the time, basically, all the time. It's fast. Renting from YouTube, basically, is fast, is clean, is secure. So the movie of Swami Yogananda is on YouTube, and the name of the movie is Awake. It's the biography of Swami Yogananda. He was phenomenal human being. I wouldn't even call him human being. He was phenomenal being. You see, human is a human construct. Anyway, we don't want to be too bent or deviate from our main subject. Well, there is no subject, but there is subject in the end anyway. You would know what I'm saying to you. Anyway, moving on. Awake is the name, basically, of the movie, if you understand what I'm saying to you. Um, Somebody asked here in America, obviously, when you do not look within you and do not explore yourself, you wonder about stupid kind of stuff. This is not a judgment, it's an observation. You see, in India, which is the birth and cradle of wisdom, in India, we do not usually wonder about these type of things. Okay, I'm not segregating. You understand the word segregate? Do you know that much English? I'm sure you do. I'm not segregating. I am basically telling you a truth. In India, usually we are the second largest population on the face of this planet. We are the second largest population on the face of this globe, but we do not usually wonder about these type of things, because we know that the inside is the only way out, if you understand. We know we always have explored ourselves, inner exploration. That's what Hinduism is. It's not a religion like Islam or Judaism or any of these monotheistic religions, the human construct. It's a series of spiritual practices. Somebody here in America, obviously that kind of question can come to a culture or society like West. But we the yogis are working on you people. We the yogis are working in West now because there is so much work need to be done and so much clarity need to be brought up. Anyway, so somebody asked Swami Yogananda while he was in California, that's where he lived and he passed on there in California, that what happens after we die. You see, a mind who's so caught up in fear and a mind who's so caught up in sadness is capable of asking a question like that. You see, what happens when we die? Isn't it far more important what's happening right now? Why are you wondering what happens after we die, huh? Like you are hoping that after we die, maybe there is hope that Jesus would be sitting on a unicorn and come and rescue you and sing the song, They Call Me Superman, I'm here to rescue you. Huh? Is that what you are thinking is going to happen after you die? Or what you understand as death, or Muhammad is coming on Buraq, or any of these things are coming, or these people and trying to rescue you? Nothing like that happens. These are all fairy tales. It has nothing to do with the reality. You understand? I speak truth and I speak divinity and I speak from the soul. So pay attention and listen up. Isn't it far more important what's happening right now? I'm asking you a question. You don't have to answer me, but focus on what I am asking you. Just be with me. Be with me does not mean that I need anything from you. You cannot give me anything. I have seen that in all the years that I have lived on this planet. You are not capable of giving me anything. On the contrary, I am giving something to you. So somebody asked basically that what happens after we die. So before I tell you the answer from Yoga Ananda, I am asking the question, isn't it far more important what's happening right now? But right now you are in a state of compulsion, or you are depressed, or you have an anxiety, or you are very concerned. These are all karma. Every disorder, every disease is karma. Without karma, there is no body. Know that. So the time to do something about the karma is now, not after 1 hour, not after when I leave the couch, not after I leave the bed, or any number of things. The time to do something about your karma is now. The time to transcend your karma is now. The time to be happy is now, and now solely. You see, it's far more important what's happening right now, because what's happening right now would decide what happens after you would die. I promise you that. I put my hand on this heart. I know it from my own experience. What's happening right now, how you shape it, would decide what would happen to you after you die. Every soul, actually, every soul, every Atman, every soul and every Atman experience differently. Okay, not everybody is going to stay in peace. I don't even know about myself. I have only a few days left, and I don't even know about myself what's going to happen to me, literally. But I know this much, that I am guarded. I know this much, that there are unseen forces from divinity which are guarding me, even right now. You see, in this very moment. So I'm very protected. I am very guarded. And so can you, obviously. But you gotta work on yourself. Everything requires action. Without action, there is nothing. So it's far more important what's happening right now in this very moment. It's very important because how you shape this moment. Because I have told you this moment is not going to go anywhere. How you shape this moment and how much you work on yourself. Oh. how you work on yourself and how you shape this moment basically is going to decide that what would happen to you. Every soul, every a soul is a vibration basically. Is a soul is a vibration. A soul, an Atman, a soul is a vibration. And there are 7 billion vibrations happening in the same time. You see, the immensity of divine, the immensity of cosmos, the immensity of limitless, is boundless. You see, is given birth non-stop and a lot of things happening in this very moment. So if you are so concerned what would happen to you after you die or your bodily demise, then the time to test yourself, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, and the time to do something about it is now. You see, now how you shape your now basically would decide and would determine what would happen to you after you die. You see, or what would happen to me after I die, because everybody dies in the end. You have heard of that, you know. What was the name of that movie? John dies in the end. It's just not solely John, you know. It was a movie, some lame name. Anyway, everybody dies in the end. You see, the cop dies, the criminal dies, the sinner dies, the saint dies, the king dies, the pauper dies, you see, the powerful dies, the weak dies, the spiritual dies, the religious dies, everybody dies in the end. And funny thing is, we don't know when we die. You see, it can happen in next 1 hour. You do not know when you are gonna die, do you? Do you know when you are gonna die? I'm asking you. Do you know? You don't. The answer is you don't. Because most people have not, unfortunately and sadly, have made themselves, you see, to a level. So we do not know when we are going to die. Some of us who are more aware, basically, now know that it is very close. So deliver as much as wisdom and truth, piss off demons and piss off devil. That's the mission of us yogis. We piss off the demons and we piss off the devil, and we have a lot of potency in us. A lot. The entire universe potency is in us. You see, and we work towards the unity of humans. You humans can only be united when they understand yourself on the individual basis while looking and exploring themselves from inside. Then they would have more patience with each other. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You cannot chant Star Sprinkling Banner or Vande Mataram or any of these uh, national songs or national anthems and expect people to embrace each other. You cannot do that. It's very impractical. It's even stupid to think like that. You see what I'm saying to you? But this is happening. Anyway, moving on. So do something right now. You see, it's far more important what's happening right now. You see, I have told you, test yourself during the day. And if you see that you are not contented in a state of compulsion, you have less patience, then you gotta do something, you gotta do something fast. But if you see you are contented, you are happy, you are fulfilled, you are not in the state of compulsion, then you are on the right path, then you are secure, then you would have awareness in a little while that where you are going basically and what would happen. What happens to every soul, to every Atman. It just depends that how much they have explored themselves and how much they know themselves. Every Atman, it happens different to every Atman and every soul. Now, since that have sunk into you, sometimes I gotta repeat myself over and over so it would sink in you. Now, since that have sunk in you, I will tell you what Swami Yoga Ananda said. Yoga Ananda said nothing happens after you die. Yoga Ananda said nothing happens after you die. You just lose the body. It's very simple. Nothing happens after you die. Because a question, a mind which is so caught up in fear, a mind which is so caught up in compulsion, because there is no clarity, specifically in West. So that kind of question only come in West. So somebody asked the question, what happens after we die? So Swami Yogananda said, isn't it that nothing special happens after you die? You just lose the body. And once you lose the body, you lose the discriminatory aspect, the reasoning aspect of your mind. You see, the brain you lose, obviously, brain is in the body. So you lose that aspect. So whatever the tendencies you had, you would now progress by those tendencies. If you spent your life like a thug, if you spent your life like tormenting people, like a thief, or like a resentful person, a schemy person, you betrayed your fellow humans, you have nothing inside you but evil, then you do not merely just you do not just turn into an angel or some type of saint merely by dying. You understand or you don't? It's a fact. You do not just turn you do not just turn into an angel. If you spent your entire life discriminating among humans, you see, if you spent your entire life guilting humans, no matter who you are, it doesn't matter. If you spent your entire life, or even for the most part of your life, not entire, but even for the most part of your life, if you spent like that, or a fair amount, even, you see, a fair amount. It doesn't have to be entire life, it could be a fair amount. If you spent your entire life, or a fair amount of your life, or a fair amount of your jivan, discriminating among people. You see, if you do not have one eye for the entire creation, if you discriminate, this is mine and this is yours, these are my people, those are your people. You see, if you were racist, if you were a thug, if you cheated people, if you had nothing but darkness and evil within you, then you would not turn into an angel or saint merely by dying. It does not happen. You just lose the body. On the top of everything, you become more miserable as soon as you die. You know why? Ask me why. Because right now, I will give you an example. Right now, if a conflict in your mind, I hope you are understanding what I'm saying to you. I do not read scripts here. I have mentioned that. I do not read scripts. It's very simple. I tell you how it is and I speak from the source. So I hope you are understanding what I am saying to you. I will give you an example. Listen up and focus what I'm saying. If you, for instance, for example, right now you are perplexed about something, you have a confusion, a thought in your mind, a scary thought, or some type of thought which is based on the experience which has happened, which is based on the experience what has happened, and now your defense mechanism is all up, your guards are all up. Anyway, what happens then? You see, it would create a thought in you. Thought may not be real. It's a given, as certain as you are hearing the sound of my voice. It would create a thought in you, if you understand what I'm saying to you. Now, the thought is not real or may not be real. So it would start fear in you. Fear is a negative emotion. You don't like it. You want to get rid of it. You feel the tension within you. You see the pulling of a rubber band, as you know. So what happens basically? What happens is it would start a thought in you, and then you would reason because you have a brain. Mind you wrap around like a rubber band. I have mentioned that before too. But brain is an organ which is in your body. It would basically start it would basically start a thought, and God forbid me if the thought is scaring you, if it is a scary thought, God forbid me, you see. So what happens? You reason, because you have a discriminatory aspect, because your brain is intact in the body right now. You would reason and you would come out of it. Ultimately you would come out of it, you would reason. You see what I'm saying to you, or no? That much you understand, right? But when you lose the body, you lose the brain. The discriminatory aspect of yourself is gone now. So whatever the tendencies you have built, the way you lived your entire life, whatever the tendencies you have built, the way you lived your entire life, you would progress by those tendencies without any discriminatory aspect. You cannot come out of your tendencies now, you cannot reason it. So it would multiply, it would magnify, it would intensify, and it would intensify very, very quickly. If you understand what I'm saying to you, very quickly, with no time given or anything like that. This is all out of time, because since I have told you time is a marker. So it would intensify, it would multiply, and it would just go. So work on your tendencies. That's what I'm saying. That's the gist. So as Yogananda said, as the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Yogananda, he was really handsome too, by the way. Really beautiful man. So as Yogananda said that this happens, you see, that nothing special happens. You lose the body, you lose the discriminatory aspect of your mind, and then you progress by your tendencies. You do not turn into an angel or saint merely by dying. If you were a thug, if you are a racist, if you were angry on people, if you were angry on the world and stuffs like that, anything, whatever, it would become the part of your tendency if it carried on in your life for a long period of time. It would imprint on your tendency, it would imprint on your karma, you see. So Swami Yogananda said that you need to work on yourself and transcend your karma, basically. And the time is now. You can only transcend your karma when you are in a form, if you understand, or in human form. You can only transcend your karma when you are in a form, basically, or you are in a human form. This is the only time when you can transcend your karma. After you lose the body, you cannot transcend your karma. You can just further progress by the tendencies that you lived in the carnation you just left. Okay? I hope I'm making sense to you. If not, rewatch this video. If you are confused by something that I said, you can write me and I would clarify. But I try to make it as simple as humanly possible. So what I'm saying to you basically, that you need to work on your karma. You need to work on the tendencies. You need to take the test during the day and see what your tendencies, where your tendencies are taking you. You would progress. The time is, Swami Yogananda said the time is now to make the change, and this world is the place where you do it. Because after you lose the body, you cannot do it. You can just progress whatever the frequency you are on, and the frequency would be decided by the life you lived in this carnation. That would imprint on your karma, that becomes frequency. You would only progress with your tendencies, your frequency, you see. So the main thing is basically what kind of frequency you have, you understand, what kind of frequency you are on. You cannot work on your karma or on yourself after you lose the body. Please know that. This is very, very significant for you to understand. You cannot work on your karma or on your tendencies basically after you lose the body. You see, the time is now while you are in the body and you have the tendency to reason. You see, the time is now when you have that. It's a blessing. That's why life is a blessing. And I said in the beginning of this video, this world is not the place of second chances. This world is the place of last chance. Because once this chance is over, then you would only progress by your tendencies, good tendencies or bad tendencies. As a matter of fact, there are no good or bad tendencies in reality. If it makes you happy and you are at peace, that what you can understand as good tendency. If it doesn't make you happy and if you are unhappy, then it means that those we understand as bad tendencies. But there are no good or bad tendencies, by the way. You see, there are just tendencies. So ponder on what I said and work on yourself. You see, yesterday, the day before, I posted a video on which I spoke the words of truth and wisdom that you take as a fairy tale and you think I'm a storyteller. And last I checked, I got 38 in one day, basically, or not yesterday, but the day before when I spoke the words of truth and wisdom, and I delivered the message from sacred and I delivered the message from divine. The last I checked, basically, I had just around 38 or 39 views on that video. That is less than 48 hours because you love the sound of my voice, I know it. You love the words of truth and wisdom, I know it. But you take me as a storyteller, like I'm some type of angel came from cosmos and telling you stories. Basically, I know storyteller. You see, I ain't no storyteller. I am the truth seeker. I'm still seeking for the ultimate truth, but I am on the right path because I take the test during the day numerous times. You see, and so can you. You can be also on the right path. It's a gift. Anyone can achieve that. No one is more closer to divine than you yourself are. So learn to understand what yourself are. So in less than 48 hours, that retreat basically when I posted, I got the last I checked, I think it was either 36 or 37, probably 38 now. And yesterday, when I did the silent meditation, you see, and I also took a look at the views, and the last I remember seeing was maybe 8 or maybe 9. You see, this tells me the people that how much receptive they are and how much they are willing to work on themselves. You see, you lay on the couch, the excuse of your misery and laziness becomes I am depressed. The excuse of your misery and laziness become that I am anxious or I have any number of mental disorders or physical disorders. You see, I am not judging you. I'm not challenging what you are going through. Don't misunderstand me. You humans have learned to misunderstand a lot, by the way. So don't misunderstand me. I'm not doing any number of these things. I'm helping you. On the contrary, you understand? I'm trying to bring clarity and trying to make you realize the magnitude and the severity of the situation that you do not understand. You are indulging yourself in substances, putting a headphone on your ears and listening to the sound of my voice. That would do anything to you. When I ask you to do practical, come join me in the silent meditation and the communion with divinity and the source, then I get only 8 or 9 views. That tells me what direction you are headed. You see, I'm going to send strength, ultimate strength. I'm going to, because I know my lover, not in the sense of what you think lover is basically, or what you are accustomed. You see, not lover in that sense. When I say lover, it means a different type of relation. When I say lover, it means a different type of connection, not the definition that you have in your mind or you are told. If you understand what I'm saying, not the physical relation or the virtual physical relation or any type of romantic involvement. No, lover, I call the lover who are the truth seekers, who are seeking the truth. I call the lovers who are on the right path. I call the lovers who put efforts basically. This world is, remember, Swami Yogananda, this world is basically the place and the time is now, and this world is basically the place where you do it. So the I'm trying to make you understand the severity and magnitude of the situation, that how important it is to do something, some practical. If you want to make the change, Swami Yogananda again, if you want to make the change, you need to put efforts. Where are your efforts? Without efforts, nothing would happen. No matter thousand times you hear, no matter thousand times you hear the sound of my voice, and you hear all the words of truth and wisdom which are pouring out from the sacred and the source. But if you do not do practical, your result becomes zero. You would not feel no change within you. You would not feel contented within you. You would not feel fulfilled within you. You would not feel happy within you. You need to put efforts. You need to do practical. So yesterday when I posted the silent meditation and the Om Chantra, only 8 or 9 views I'm getting. But when I'm telling you the words of truth and wisdom, when I am pouring wisdom out of the source, basically, and you are taking my words of truth and wisdom, the wisdom that I am pouring out, and you are taking it as a story, and I become a storyteller, and I get 38 or 39 views less than 48 hours. That's not cool. You see, that's not something which would make me happy. You need to do practical for your own sake. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm not asking for your money or anything like that. I don't expect anything from you. Zero. Have you ever seen a zero? You see, zero. See, zero. So the result would, I expect zero from you. Can you give me zero? Of course you can give me zero, because I expect zero from you. I don't need anything. I have a few days left on this plan, and after that, I'm going to progress further, basically, and I'm going to evolve in next step of the evolution. But for you, basically, I am saying, my loved ones, my truth seekers, my listeners, my seers, my followers, do practical. If you do not like what you are going through, practical is the only way. In is the only way out. Look inwards. Use yoga and meditation every day. Dedicate yourself. And then you would see the miraculous results. Then your tendencies would be like peace, happiness, contentment. You see, fulfillment, contentment, peace, happiness. That would be so. You see, that would be so. Do not run. I know. Do not run. Do not go anywhere. Do not run. Do not go anywhere. You see, let go of the thoughts from your mind. Don't remain. Let go of the thoughts from your mind, no matter how severe the thought is. As long as it's a thought, it's not telling you anything new. It's telling you what you already know. Don't remain in the state of compulsion. Learn to sit super silent while you focus. Learn to sit super silent. Shh. Shh. Learn to sit super silent while you focus in within, inside, through yoga and meditation. Do not go anywhere just because I stop telling you the story. Obviously the words of truth and wisdom are a story for you, and it's sad. Just because I stop telling you the story doesn't mean that you run away. You participate, you do karma yoga. I am sending strength to all my viewers, my seers, my truth seekers, the beautiful people who follow me. I know on the top of my head some of the names that I can say here, but it doesn't mean that those people exclusively, it doesn't mean that those people solely. I send strength to everybody. You see, it's a continuous charity. It's a continuous generosity that I sent strength to everybody. So you not only think for yourself, but for the common wealth, for the common benefit of every human on the face of this planet. You understand? So sit and produce good energy, basically. Sit and produce good energy. Sit and produce good energy from within and send it to those who need it most. A lot of my truth seekers, the beautiful truth seekers, the followers, the seers, they are going through some rough time as far as their relationship, their domestic problems, their health. They are struggling with karma. So let's sit in silence and produce good energy and send it to them because they need it most. Do something and not the center of your own self. Do something sometime for somebody else. Learn to do that. Do something selflessly. Oh. Oh. Om Shiva. Keep meditating.